Hello, Facebook fans, Facebook friends, Facebook everybody. Since this is public, I guess it really doesn't matter whether you're my friend or not. Yeah, so anyway, still feeling a little under the weather, so please excuse the way I sound. I'm really troubled tonight, and so I definitely want to post my concern about the situation that's going on. Well, the situations, there are a lot of things going on in our government. And, for real, seriously, up until this past election, could have cared less about what in the world is going on in the world, about what's going on in politics. I have really cared less. And that's just being real. I would go to the poll, I would vote, and that was it. That's all I really, was concerned about at that particular point in time. But there comes a time where when you start seeing a shift in things going on, you have to come to the realization that, things are not going the way they should be. And, pretty soon you have to start paying attention, not just on a secular aspect of things, but on a spiritual aspect of things, of what is going on in the world today. You have people that are really being blindsided right now, and I'm sorry to tell you, but you can say that I'm just blowing a lot of smoke, or I'm just being judgmental about who's in office. Let me tell you something. I could care less about Donald Trump. He don't make or break me. So I don't really care nothing about him being in office for real. Because what is what is. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of the fact of how I feel about him, the facts are the facts. And facts is that the way people are being treated in the society today, based on the actions of people in higher levels of authority, that in itself should concern not only the community but the country as a whole. I posted something on a friend of mine's post because Donald Trump's son was being mocked or something, or being bullied or something, and my comment was to that person, well, to the post itself was, basically, Donald Trump has led and before I finish this statement, this is not a Donald Trump against him campaign. I'm posting an example, so don't be going half-cocked thinking I'm talking about Trump, because this is not where I'm going with this. I'm just using this as an example. So anyway, so I posted on the thing about the little boy and the way he was being treated, and not that I am for any child being mistreated or bullied or anything else by another person. I think it is all unacceptable. Any form of violence, any form of racism, any form of anything that is not of God, I am against it. And so should any other Christian. Enough said on that. So I posted, because what was being said was, that Donald Trump's son should be hands off, period, because Donald Trump is the president of the United States. Okay, hold on just a minute. So are you telling me that because Donald Trump is the president of the United States and that he's a high authority figure in the government, that his son should be exempt from being bullied? So what you're saying is that it doesn't matter about the years and years of bullying that other people, white, black, Mexican, Muslim, it don't matter. You're trying to tell me, based on your statement, that because he's a high authority public figure and politician and president of the United States, that his son should be exempt from being bullied, but everybody else, if you are of another status, or if you're middle class, low class, or if you don't hold some type of status in this world, then it's okay for your child to be bullied. So that being said, My own nephew was bullied in North Carolina. He went to a predominantly white school, and a young white girl pulled down his pants at a bus in front of a whole lot of students. My nephew tried to kill himself. My nephew is 10. So are you saying that it's okay for, because my niece isn't the mayor of North Carolina or she's not a public figure, that it was okay for what happened to my nephew because her father is not in some type of position or she's not in some kind of position? Do you see my point? I don't agree with the way they're treating his son, and yet at the same time, he has left a string of violence, all through his campaign. So the only thing I was trying to state on that post was the reason his son is being subjected possibly to this type of bullying is because of the mark that's been left by his father. Why do I say that? Because, think about it. Obama served 2 years, 2 consecutive terms in office. I never one time heard anything about his daughters ever during his term being bullied, harassed, or anything else. Never heard it. If I'm wrong, find me the news feed and send it to me. But I can guarantee you that I've never heard of it. Why? Because when they were in office, even though I don't agree with everything he did in office, I don't recall him ever discriminating against anyone based on race, sex, religion, or anything else. He stood in office, he held his office, and he looked at everyone the same. Okay? So therefore, I feel like the reason his son got bullied was because, think about it, as soon as Muslims became a target out of his mouth, what started happening? Muslims started getting bullied. When Mexicans started becoming an issue out of his mouth, Mexicans started being bullied. And I know this for a fact. It's in the news. Any type of religion that he mocked, they started getting bullied. And so now the table has turned around and he's now in a presidential position. And now his son is getting bullied and y'all are getting mad. For what? This was something that started with him. And I'm not okaying what happened. What I'm saying is that you are who you demonstrate, and who you demonstrate will follow you through generations to come. That's biblical. If you look at the Bible, for generations to come, people were paying for the sins of their father. So don't sit up there and act like you don't know what's going on and why. That's why it's going on. So don't try to defend something like that when you know that that's why it's happening. You don't want to see that for what it is, but that's what it is. Okay? That's what it is, plain and simple. When you breed contempt, when you sow contempt, when you sow racism, when you sow violence, you will reap the exact same thing. It doesn't matter how or in what form you do it. It's going to come back on you. Which takes me to a movie that I saw back in 2004, I believe it was, which is what I actually got on here to say. But I had to say that first because I'm so sick of people making excuses. There's excuse after excuse after excuse. And it's time we stop making excuses for people's ignorance and arrogance. That it's high time to let that mess go. People are being arrogant. People are being evil and inconsiderate. consider it, and it should not be allowed. So anyway, 2004, I believe it was, right before the first black man got elected for president of the United States. And I found it so funny. And anybody who looked at the movie probably went and said, wow, that actually happened. Now, if you will go back to 2004, I believe that's when this movie was made, Head of State with Chris Rock, okay? You know, he was an alderman in the city that he was living in, and he was just one of those, you know, he was one of those go-getters who fought for his community. He really wasn't interested in anything else. And you know, Robin Givens, she was in the movie, and you know, she stayed with him because she thought that one day he was gonna do something higher, like become a senator or a congressman or something like that. But then she got tired of waiting for him to become that. And so she left him. And so, long story short, over in the White House, there was another guy who was plotting to be the next president, but he had to wait a few more years. So they had to find somebody who was willing to run for president and lose so that, you know, he can become the next up for president or whatever. So here they are looking at this video of Chris Rock, who's the alderman in his city. They're like, hey, let's get this fool. Let's get this fool to do it because, you know, he looks stupid enough, so let's just get him to do it. See, that's the problem with y'all thinking people look stupid. Because now everybody ain't stupid as they look, okay? So anyway, so when they get him in the White House, they're like, hey, we want you to run for president. And he's like, of what? And they're like, the United States. And he's like, of what? And then he's like, of America. And so, long story short, he runs for president. He doesn't know that he's being deceived into running for president because he's in the race to actually lose the race, but they didn't tell him that. But when he found out that he was actually there to lose, he actually started winning. I said that to say this. The opponent that was running against him, at first he had no idea what was going on. But then once he figured out what was going on, and they started having their political campaigns around the United States, going to the different states or whatever, there was one statement that this man used to say during his political campaign. And during his political campaign, he kept saying, God bless America and no place else. That's what he kept saying the whole campaign. God bless America and no place else. How in the world do you say God bless America and no place else when the whole world is the Lord's and the fullness thereof? The whole world and they that dwell in it. There is absolutely no way you can say God bless America and no place else. When Trump started his campaign, what did he say? He want to make America great again. There ain't nothing wrong with having your slogan. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that if that's what you want. But if your goal is to make America great again by stepping on everybody else to do it, then how do you think you're going to benefit anybody by doing that? I'm trying my best not to make this about Trump, but at the same time, it do keep coming out that way, don't it? Well, I guess that's just the way it is, because the truth is what it is, and I'm trying, I could say that it's somebody else that's doing it. I could blame it on somebody else. I could say that maybe this is just not the way it's going, but I have seen nothing but negative come out of this election. I have seen nothing but violence, nothing but racism, nothing but let's build that great wall, nothing but let's charge these extreme high border taxes. You know, come on. I got to tell you, as somebody who's married to an African and as somebody who has a Mexican-American child, grandchild on the way, even before all of this, I would have been against everything that's going on right now. If I had the money to leave the United States of America right now and never come back, I would never come back, because it is an embarrassment to know that I live around people who hate Mexicans, who hate Muslims, who hate Hispanics, who hate people that don't look, think, or talk like they do. Nobody was created the same. All of us were created in the likeness and the image of God himself. And if you are a Christian, I don't care who you voted for, if you are a Christian and you are not displaying yourself as Christ, if you are not, our pastor said to pray for the United States and to pray for our president and all this stuff. I ain't there yet. I can honestly tell you I have not gotten there yet. If anything, I will pray for the people around me. I will pray for the foreigners who are being subject to harassment. I will pray for the Muslims. I will pray for ISIS. I will pray for the jihadists. I will pray for the extremists. And I'm going to tell you why. Because if Christians would get busy and pray for them, you might be able to break some chains of bondage right now. But instead, you're sowing swords of discord and causing an extreme train of violence that's just going from one place to another. This is not going to end well. I'm not a minister that has a degree on my wall to pastor. I don't have a theological degree, but let me tell you something. I don't need to have a degree on my wall to tell you what I see in the spirit. I see something about to happen that you're not going to see coming. Why? Because you cannot treat God's people, God's entire total creation, any kind of way you want to, and don't think you're not going to reap what you sow. Period. Point blank. I don't care if you like this video with your thumbs up. I don't care if you put an angry face on it. I don't care what you do, because this ain't about you. This is about what God has called us to be. This is what God has called us to do as Christians, and that is to love thy neighbor as thyself. Who is thy neighbor? That is everybody, not just the United States of America. That is North America, South America, Asia, Europe, Africa, Antarctica, Asia. That's everybody, even North Korea. You ought to pray for those people. Everybody talk about pray for Trump. Let's pray for the world. Let's pray for the world. Let's pray for all of these people getting killed. Let's pray for these people in Syria that have lost all of their lives, their kids, their children, their mothers. Just pray for those people. Pray for those people. If you are okay with what's going on in the United States, I'm going to be praying for you. I'm going to be praying for you, because you don't see what's about to happen. You don't see what's coming. And I'm telling you, it's coming, and it's going to come hard, because you don't judge people and you don't shut down a whole country because you're scared. What you do is you trust God that he's going to protect this country and protect other countries. God never said that sorrow would not come. God never said that there would not be wars and rumors of wars. God never said there would not be no noise of pestilence. God never said that there was going to always be peace. This is what was declared by the Bible. This was what was prophesied in the Bible. Everything that's going on is going on for a reason. But don't think for one second that the things that's going on now is something that's going to be made right later. It's not. It's about to get way worse than you expect. And it's going to start right here in the United States of America. Because there are so many people who are plotting and planning right now the destruction of the United States based on the decisions that are being made right now. So I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to end my little speech right now. You know what I'm saying? And trust me, I'm speaking with a tone, and understand my tone. I'm speaking this way because I can't believe that people don't see this. I cannot believe people do not see this coming. I think there are certain people that see this coming, but I don't think people are seeing it the way they should. I don't think people are looking with spiritual eyes, people who are Christians. I don't think they're looking at this with spiritual eyes. I think they're saying, well, we got what we want, we got who we want, so we're good with that. Okay, well, I hope you're going to be good with that later on. I hope that when things start turning around and things start getting worse than what they are right now, that you are going to still say you're happy with the decision that you made. Because seriously, it's about to get real. So that's all I want to say. Peace out.